Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shannon Rutherford, the town planner. This is the Farmington Historic District Commission. I will do roll call of the members. We've got Joanne Lawson
Here.
James Calciano is absent today. Cliff Mix,
Here.
Michelle Phelan,
Present.
Jay Bombara,
Present.
Liz Gemsky,
Here.
John Renahan,
Here.
and Ted Sanford
He's absent.
is absent. Okay, Mr. Chair, it's all yours.
Okay, we'll commence the meeting of the Farmington Historic District Commission, June 20th at 5 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order, and I'll ask the Secretary, Michelle Phelan, to read in the notices of the public hearings.
Notice is hereby given that the Farmington Historic District Commission will hold a hybrid public hearing on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023 at 5 p.m. in the Town Hall Council Chambers on the following applications. Ken Bodreau, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install fence at 4 Porter Road. Bing Shu, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install shed and expand patio at 144 Main Street. And Adam Warren, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to replace windows at 24 Main Street. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this hybrid public meeting. Participation in person is at 1 Monteith Drive, Town Hall, Town Council Chambers, or online participation is via the link. A copy of this proposal is on file in the Planning Department at Town Hall in Farmington, Connecticut, and may be accessed at the link provided or by calling the Planning Department.
Thank you, Michelle. So we'll begin the public hearings. The first public hearing is Ken Boudreau, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install fence at 4 Porter Road. Ken, if you would come to the microphone, identify yourself and your address, and then give a brief presentation on what it is that you're applying for.
I'm Ken Boudreau. I live on 4 Porter Road. And what I'm applying for is I'd like to put a fence across the front of our property. Currently, there's about 6 or 7 hemlocks and a few other large bushes that occupy that space. I'd like to have them removed and put it's a white picket fence. It's a Walpole fence, going to be made of ASIC materials. And it's a vintage classic looking picket fence.
Great. I've already forgotten. I'm going to appoint Liz Gemsky to be part of the forum here today. And we'll start with questions. Liz, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, was it vinyl or wood that you were going?
Oh, it's wood, ASIC,
Okay.
ASIC wood. Yep.
Thank you.
Michelle,
I don't have any questions.
go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm that it is this fence that you gave us a picture of?
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Okay. Joanne showed the photo that was in the application.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out of the Walpole catalog.
John, do you have any comments or questions?
No, I mean, the fence looks like an appropriate style, and it sounds like an appropriate material. Will it be right on this, like right where those shrubs are now? How, like the location?
Yes, it'll be alongside the sidewalk that goes down Porter Road.
I've walked by your beautiful property before. Does it stop at the driveway, or will go up beyond?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it goes from the driveway east to the end of the property. The other side of the property will remain the privet that's already there.
Great. No other questions for me. Thanks.
Okay.
Cliff, do you have any questions or comments for Ken?
No, looks very nice. No questions.
Okay, the only thing I'll add is I did check with Ted Sanford. I have an email if you want it, that he did agree that ASIC is an appropriate material. I know we've approved it for Porters and other places, so I think it's fine as well. Is there anybody from the public, either in the room or online, that would like to be heard on this matter?
Yeah, if you're calling in from online, please raise your hand using the feature with Zoom, and you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay, hearing no additional comments or questions, Is there a motion to approve the application as submitted?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you. All set, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this second public hearing scheduled for today is read out by Michelle, is Bing Shu application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install shed and expand patio at 144 Main Street. Bing, if you could do the usual.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. So we are planning on adding a custom shed 10 by 16 from Clotter Farms. It's going to be at the back end of the property. Most of this, I think, will be pretty well covered by the privacy fence that's already there. You may see it a little bit from Winchell Smith, but again, you're looking through the historic district and they have trees in the back as well. And then I have some pictures of the custom shed as well. If you scroll down a little more, let's see. That's the general schematic, but there's that's going to be that's a picture of it, of what it will look like. So it has that dormer and the cupola up top. And then in terms of the patio expansion, there's a landscape architect plan further up, but essentially what's going to happen is that there's going to be a brick, kind of a red brick area coming off of the current pergola patio area, and then it's going to go into a series of raised garden plots on pea gravel with some center obelisks, and then some fruit trees on the side and more planting on the side of the privacy fence, essentially. So kind of where you see those chairs are, that's the new part of the expansion. And then the rest of that will be pea gravel with raised garden beds. So again, I think there's some pictures of an idea of what ideal of it would look like. So that's kind of the look of the raised garden beds with the pea gravel. And again, I don't honestly know how much people will even see it, the privacy fence that's already in place.
Okay. Joanne, do you have any questions or comments?
Actually, I do have a couple of questions. Did you just say it was 10 by 16? I thought I read that it was 20 by 16.
No, 10 by 16.
And 11 feet high?
I don't remember all the schematics are included. That's the actual build sheet from Clotter.
Sorry, I don't see that. Okay, but anyway, 10 by 16, thank you.
The 20 by 16, maybe they need a certain amount of space around it for the plot, for the foundation. So that may be what you were looking at, but the shed itself is 10 by 16.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. What material is the siding? I was reading.
Wood.
It's okay. 'Cause
It's wood.
said it might be the siding would vary.
Ours is wood, cedar wood.
Thank you. Okay, and then the windows are single hung aluminum windows?
That I honestly am not 100% sure. I don't know exactly which kind of windows are for that Clotter does, but
Okay, because
It does say that.
yeah, I mean, if that's what they said, that's what they would be. Yeah.
okay, because the ones in the picture, the color photograph don't quite look the same as the one on the drawing.
The drawing, because it's a custom shed, they can't draw it out exactly in terms of what it would look like, because they can't, it's because they don't have a custom drawing of the dormer and the cupola on the shed. You know what I'm saying? So the picture is just to give you that's the closest look of what we designed in terms of what I could find on the internet.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I was having trouble going from one to the other.
Yeah.
Um,
Because the drawing just gives you, I think, the general dimensions of the shed. The additional cosmetic features they don't put on the drawing because it doesn't add to the actual structural component of the shed.
Got it. Okay, so it's wood. Thank you. Those were my questions.
Okay, Michelle?
I don't have any questions. I walk by your property probably 4 or 5 times. So I live almost across the street,
Yeah.
but I walk by your property all the time from the front. To your point, I don't know that you could see it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if even from Winchell Smith,
I'm not sure
I'm
this,
not
yeah.
sure that you could. And certainly, you know, the design in any event, I think is pleasing, and everything you've done seems to be pleasing. So, I don't really have any questions in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Liz?
That's what I was gonna ask. All of this is kind of behind the house. Is that accurate, or behind a fence so you wouldn't be able to see it?
Sort of, it's like not the way the property is, it's sort of like on the side.
It's on the side back area of the
Yeah.
back, it's on the side, but back of the house.
Yeah.
There's that retaining wall in the front.
Yeah.
And then there's, with the pine trees that are growing out every year. So I think in a few years, those will be even more obscuring. And then there's the privacy fence behind that. so.
Okay.
The front part is like raised a little bit, and then there's like a stone wall that kind of lowers almost the backyard.
Yeah.
And the backyard really is kind of like it's a backyard to the house, but it's really kind of a side yard. And I was looking at those evergreens today or yesterday maybe, and they have grown
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
Awesome. Cliff, do you have any questions or comments?
Nope, looks very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
John?
Yeah, no, this picture is super helpful. So again, looking at this red box, and is that the historic district site right next to you all?
Correct.
Okay. No, I think I'm all set on my end. Thanks.
Okay, so for clarification, the property next to it is actually the Farmington Historical Society, which is something separate from this commission.
Yes, I'm sorry. Good clarification.
Well, it gets even more confusing as several of us up here are also involved with the Historical Society, so no offense taken. I will point out that the red box and what I'm looking at on your plan is so the shed is going to go parallel to the house, if you will, right? In other words, is it
Perpendicular, I guess,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
that's not what it looks like on this plan, on page, well,
Where's the architect design?
yeah,
I mean, the house is, I guess it depends on how you view the house. I guess
Oh, right.
technically the house is a salt box facing Main Street. So the
Right.
shed is perpendicular to the old portion of the house, but it is parallel to the lawn access of the house, if that makes
Let
sense.
me say, is the long side of the shed parallel to the property line? Yes.
To the side property
Yes.
line. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So the back, where are the doors going to be? Are they going to be on the
There's two sets of
facing
doors.
side or?
Two sets of doors. So there's a
Okay.
single door facing the property, and then there's a double door on the facing towards the backyard.
And what's the door look like on the side that faces the street? If there is.
There is no door facing the
Okay.
street. Yeah,
Good, perfect. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's if anything can be seen, is you might see that part of the structure. I mean, I think the structure generally is fine. I'm just pointing out that
yeah.
you're probably just going to see some a side of a standard shed building, a nice shed building for them.
Yeah.
So no concern about it as well. Okay. Is there anybody either in the room or online that would like to comment on this matter?
If you've called in online in order to offer comment on the application for 144 Main Street, please use this feature in Zoom to raise your hand and you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay, hearing none and seeing no one in the room that would like to comment. I'd look for a motion to approve the application submitted.
I make a motion to approve the application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install the shed and expand the patio at 144 Main Street.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So the third and final public hearing for today is Adam Warren, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to replace windows at 24 Main Street. If someone's here on behalf of the applicant that could come up, identify yourself and your address and make a brief presentation on what you're applying for today.
Hi, I'm Adam Warren. I live at 24 Main Street. So the general issue is that we had our 18-month-old test extremely high on, or like starting to be alarmingly high on lead, kept it under the state minimum, but the windows tested at like something like 1,000 times the level that they wanted to see it at based on Farmington Health Department results. So we're trying to replace the windows. My feeling on it was just more that we're going to replace them with 6/6. We're doing something that it's so instead of it being Marvin, which I had received packets from the zoning from windows that had been approved that were Marvin build, but I had Harvey's spec'd out exactly the same as some of the other addresses on Main Street. And that's what we're going with. They're going to be, and then we're going to be removing the storm windows from the front, and they're going to do any sort of like minor construction to make sure that the wood surrounding the windows is appropriately like addressed for any rot or anything that would be going on.
Okay. Start with John. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, so it's just a full replacement of all the windows, and the question we all always ask, just, you know, divided light, 6/6.
Yep.
And so it looks like that, but I just want to confirm all the fundamentals.
So the terminology he used was the simulated divided light. So that's going to be inside and outside for 6/6. And we have no intention of changing the actual appearance of the window. Like we bought in the district for the 6/6. So that's what we're looking to keep.
Yeah, and I'll just add, we have approved and simulated divided light has been accepted by the commission before. Anything else, John?
Nope, that's it. Thanks.
Cliff?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, Liz?
I'm good, thank you.
Michelle?
Same with me. I had a question on the 6/6, so I wasn't sure, but you answered it.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm all set. Thank
ahead.
you.
I just do have one question
Sure.
about the window material. I was trying to read through all of that, and it talked about extruded aluminum exterior cladding.
So that was something that the Marvin windows that were approved, I don't have the packet with, like I can pull it up in my email, but it's a cladding just to make sure that the window stays or keeps it from rotting, but it should not be exterior facing as far as I understand.
We have approved those as well.
Yeah.
That is it.
So I won't notice it.
I don't think so. That's sort of been always our take, and I couldn't tell you which ones in the village we have approved and have them. I can't remember.
you.
I mean, and my personal stance on it is that we're removing the storm windows. So if you're concerned about aluminum, we're replacing the 1980s style storm windows with
Yeah.
So
something
it'll
that'll
look
look a little
nicer,
bit
no
more
doubt.
appropriate.
And you're keeping the shutters?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, again,
that was it.
I did ask Ted Sanford for his opinion, and like happy to give you the email if you want, but yeah, he did confirm to me too that those are the windows that we approved before, and he thinks that they look appropriate from his experience and expertise.
I wish you the best of luck for your children.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's the only sense of urgency for us. Otherwise, we kind of deal with it, but that's like we would try to do something a little different, but got to do it. So
I guess the only last thing I would say is, and it's hard when you're doing the trim. I mean, you're going to match what's there. If for some reason your installer says there's an issue and it's got to look a little different, or something comes up, I would ask that you come back. I mean, that's something that could be important to us.
He's so he's from Scotland and he was extremely excited about the aspect of working on an older house again. So I'm pretty confident that he's going to do his best to
Okay.
make sure that that's right.
Great. I don't have anything further. Is there anybody, I won't even ask in the room, is there anybody online that would like to comment on this matter?
If anyone has called in regarding the application for 24 Main Street, please raise your hand using the feature in Zoom. And you'll be acknowledged to address the commission. Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay, hearing no comment from public. Again, I'd look for a motion to approve this application as submitted.
I'll make the motion to approve the application for a temporary certificate of appropriateness to replace the windows at 24 Main Street.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
I have a second. Is there further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion carries and it's granted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Hopefully he can get in there right away. Bye.
Okay, I guess moving on, I guess we have other business. Anybody? I will say that, Michelle and I had a little bit of back and forth and she had some good ideas and I quite frankly didn't have time to look at it about trying to identify more properties, for the district. I know we've got to move this one, but it doesn't look like, and then we don't meet for a couple months. That we probably have anything at this point to add, but we can continue to do that. But maybe if I can find time, I'll circulate something for us to at least have a think about to try to find ways to encourage people to join. And I will say, I appreciate it. I did because I was looking for the applications today. I'd forgotten that if anybody you know of is interested, point them to the website and point them to the Farmington Historic District portion of the website. And actually, the town, Shannon and others have put up on their link to the SHPO, which talks about the benefit you can have, financial benefit of getting the 30%, possibly up to 30% back on any improvements that you do. Probably should have told this guy. Anyway, it trickled at him. At any rate, did you want to add anything to that? Because I know you were thinking about.
Yeah, no, I have been thinking about it. And actually the folks moved in at 117 Main Street. And so I was thinking I have introduced myself just quick, but they need to do exterior work on that house.
I would definitely have a conversation.
Yeah, and so I was thinking, I'll email you with a couple of the thoughts that I have,
Okay.
Jay. Like I was, I mean, yeah, they have to, there's some things.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that house has some, as mine does too, deferred maintenance. Anybody else want to say anything about that, or anybody have any other business they want to discuss? Bring it.
Can I ask another question though? So can we send Adam, oh shoot, I closed his thing.
Adam Warren.
Yeah, Adam Warren, can we send him, because he provides his email, can we send him an email to say, you know what, geez, we forgot, just neglected and,
You just point out to.
okay,
I made a note, so I'll be following up. I've been in contact with them anyhow, so absolutely.
okay.
Send a link to them so
Great.
that they've got it.
Okay, I think that would be terrific, because I'm thinking that that like gesture of goodwill, if you will, and if we do same for like 117 Main Street, all I know her name is Pauline, but just to let them know, that word spreads,
Of course.
so that would be great. Okay, thanks, Shannon. I'm glad, that's great. And then I'll, well, Jay, I'll talk to you
Yeah, we
and
can figure it out.
yeah.
I'm happy to call them. too.
Yeah.
Stop by. Right, great. All right, hearing no other business, the staff, anything you guys want to bring up, Shannon?
Just
Sandy?
two things. I know it had been discussed, I think back in April, about getting a notice in the summer newsletter about a friendly reminder to residents about the need for certificates of appropriateness if your property is within the historic district. So Sandy actually was kind enough to get something drafted for us, so I expect that to hit the summer newsletter.
Great.
That
Thank
got
you.
that over to the manager's office. So I think the newsletter is supposed to hit the street early to mid-July is my loose understanding on the time frame. And for the one property that is gonna move forward for the expansion, Garrett has started the research, so we've got a goal to try to have that at least in draft form for everybody to take a look at, including the homeowner by mid-July. And then we'll get that to SHPO and Town Council with the intent of holding a hearing then with the commission either in September or October, depending on our exact time frame, because we have to give, I think it's 60 days to SHPO is what we're obligated, so.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Of course.
There was something else I was just being very. Okay, in that case, let's move to the minutes. I've looked at the minutes. Sandy circulates them. I had no comments or changes, but does anybody have any? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, those minutes are approved. Give me 1 second. Well, there's something I was gonna bring up and now it popped out of my head. So I have to write things down. Shoot. All right, well, not tonight. Okay, with that, unless there's anything else that we need to cover, meeting is adjourned and we won't see everybody till September, so have a nice summer.
No, we do have something for July.
We do have one.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One
Sorry.
application for Porters.
Yes.
Yeah, there is, Porters has an
Oh.
application in for Windows, so there will be a July meeting.
All right, sorry, tried to get you guys off till,
But, well,
I don't know why.
We
I
will
thought
be
July.
taking
It
the
is only
August.
August, not, I
we
think.
will be taking the August break.
Okay,
Yeah.
they promised us August stuff. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.